welcome back to the Get Started podcast. I'm Rodrigo, and today we're talking about engineering, leadership, and building ideas that are going to be connecting across borders and nations. So today I'm joined by someone that I met in change management, specifically the course case studies, Wael Said. And he's a master's student in international production engineering and management here at the FAU Erlangen Nuremberg, and currently working in product management here at Siemens Energy also. And you were also a previous member of START with the partnerships department. So you're also originally from Tunisia, and you speak 4 languages. That's really impressive. And I remember first meeting you when you pitched your idea of Belmood back in November, I think, last year, right?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
you're heavily focused in your studies and work. So, Wael, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. And so let's get started on your journey. My first question is, let's go back to when you were a teenager and you were still in Tunisia. So what inspired your move from your home into now Germany, where you've started your bachelor, you finished your bachelor's, and now you're doing your master's?
Yeah. So since I was a kid, I always liked this 3D modeling and like this 3D drawings.
Yeah.
And I wanted to work in something in that direction.
Mhm.
And then I chose to do my baccalaureate, like technical baccalaureate,
Yeah.
in Tunisia. And after finishing that, I wanted to explore like a different country, like to go somewhere else than Tunisia, and have more like different perspectives on how things work.
Okay.
And for Germany, it's quite famous for like the industries.
Mhm.
And then I was like, that's like a good fit for me.
Yeah, especially automotive industry right there.
Exactly,
Germany
yeah.
is infamous, of course.
Yeah.
But so when you say 3D modeling,
Mhm.
this also was let's say, an earlier interest of you, like very much on geometry, and it's very abstract. Or how did you conceptualize this into an interest for you to go into engineering?
So part of the subject that we had in school was the technical drawings, where you have to draw like a part, but in different perspectives.
Ah, yeah.
And I really liked that. For me, it was kind of like a game to look at the different perspectives and then like to model it in my head.
Uh-huh.
And I felt like there is some people who struggle with that, but for me it was kind of like a game, and I had that skill. And then I was like, I want to do that because it's fun for me.
That is okay. That's really cool. You would say you're maybe more on the abstract but visual thinking,
Exactly.
instead of, as like say, the opposed would be very like textual or very word orientated.
Definitely.
You're more in the former.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what would you say was the most challenging aspect between moving from Tunisia and then finishing your bachelor's and now in Germany? I'm referring to the differences of culture, but also, let's say, the difference in the academic institutions or professionally. What was challenging in these 3 regards?
Okay. I think what was difficult at first, it was more the language part, because it's very important to speak the language if you're like in different country.
Yeah.
And like that way you can have better insights on how things work. And like I did the mistake in the first year where I stayed in a bubble with other internationals, and that way I felt like it was like a limited experience.
Yeah.
But then I moved to Regensburg, and there I was kind of the only person not from Germany who's in that class. And I was at the Fachhochschule. I don't know how to say that in English. Fachhochschule.
Is it like the technical school? And it was in Regensburg, no? The
Yeah.
OTA.
Yeah. The OTA. So there it was more like a class. It was not like Hochschule.
Right, because it's smaller number of students in OTA, and here in Nuremberg
you
is more.
kind of see them frequently. And that way it was for me easier and easier to get integrated with the people from there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I found I had the luck that there was so many people who were inclusive and welcoming, and that way there was like a very good exchange. And even with the language, we started I think 80% English and 20% German, and with time we turned to 100%
Wow.
German. Yeah.
Okay. So how fast for you would you say that your learning curve was, the process of learning German? It was rather fast, no?
I don't know if 2 years counts as fast.
I think it's pretty from, let's say, A1, A2.
No, so I had in my first year in Heidelberg, I did the language class, which was 6 months long, from A2 till C1. Yeah, and then I did the test exam, and then I passed. And
sweet.
Then I went to
Regensburg. I think you definitely went the correct route with being in a smaller group, and it's mostly German, and you're getting to have a welcoming feeling, and you see them a lot, right?
For the first year, I was more in the bubble, but I figured out how to pass the exam. Actually, I was more going out, and that way I got more in contact with locals, but was not on a deep level.
Yeah.
But that was enough to pass the exam.
Yeah.
And then the second year, after moving to Regensburg, I started uni, and that way I got to know the other people who made me feel integrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I didn't feel homesick at all, I think, till maybe after finishing my bachelor's. So because I felt like that was it became my routine, the norm.
You were feeling more at home. Yeah.
I felt more like home, and then I didn't feel sick at all.
Yeah.
Homesick at all.
I had a similar experience that I went to the opposing or let's say the complementary university. I went to the Uni Regensburg.
Yeah, okay.
For my exchange for 1 year, and I also loved it wholeheartedly. But I did stay in an international bubble also.
Yeah.
So maybe my German learnings were not progressing, but still that aspect it resonates with me because it did feel like a second home. It's more about the welcoming nature of your classmates, and also the people that have a intercultural experience, right?
Exactly.
So it resonates. I also want to ask you, you've navigated different roles across OTA, but also here in Nuremberg, and I'm relating it more to the mechanical design, but you mentioned also your thinking that is very, it's a bit abstract, but it's 3D, right?
Yep.
So from design to R&D and product management, what connects them, and for you to also transfer knowledge?
What do you mean by transfer knowledge?
Is there even a connecting theme with your experiences, so you can keep progressing? Yeah.
I think after having my first experience working as a practicant in Siemens infrastructure in Regensburg, and I was doing that 3D modeling.
Yep.
So after doing it for 6 months, I felt at a certain point I needed to go for explore more things.
Yeah.
So then I went to research and development, and that's in Kronos, where I did my bachelor thesis there.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Kronos.
Yeah. Did you work there?
No, met someone in Regensburg who told me about the company, so I was like, okay, I have heard of it.
It's quite famous there. It's very big there. Yeah. And there, I wanted to have more creative freedom.
Yeah.
So I conceptualized a concept or a solution, and then seeing it, then doing the 3D modeling, and then it was created or manufactured in real, and then doing the testing.
Reality.
So so I was involved in all of the steps.
Yeah.
And then testing it out if there is if it optimized the system or not, and then it was a whole like a project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would say that it was really beneficial for you, and you learned like the entire, let's say, process of the project, but also maybe what was most important. You can even consider it as like the value chain and the necessary steps.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
something along this. This was maybe the knowledge that you're transferring from different projects.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the research and development. And then after finishing my bachelor thesis, or I started working on the app, which is Belmont.
Yep.
And there I felt there is even more like fulfilling. There is a more fulfilling feeling, which is creating something for yourself.
Yeah.
That is, you have, let's say, creative control on all the major aspects of the product. And I wanted to do something more like, let's say, interpersonal and more human related, because I felt, like you can optimize the machine. It's great. Like it can optimize it like it's 20% better or 50% better. It's faster, but there is still, I felt there is many other problems in the world that are just between the humans. And there is sometimes still this asynchronicity and conflict. And I wanted to, and like with time, I felt like people are more and more alienated, and it's like a recurrent theme all the time. And I felt with the like the social networking apps or dating apps, social media apps that are available, there is still this feeling of unsatisfaction with them, and like and there is this still the feeling that they're like toxic, and there is something that is a key component that is still missing. And then I wanted to work on that because me myself, like I tried those kind of apps, and I was not satisfied myself, so I wanted to do a solution.
Yeah, for sure. That also is very understandable for our generation, right? That we want to have a community, so we look for these let's call them social media apps, right? But we do tend to feel more alienated, unfortunately. And that was not something that was really considered. But so what is the stage now? Where is Belmont in the development? You're also busy with other things, so how do you manage that right now?
Like for Belmont, as I said, I started it, I would say, even parallel to my bachelor thesis.
Okay.
Like started doing the first, having the first ideas.
Yep.
And I would say after half a year, like I would say I had the chance to get some support from a friend of mine, like slash business angel, and
that's a good connection.
And he helped me out with financing, the finances. And then I did the first. I started like learning Figma, trying like to visualize my concept, and afterwards I had like a past co-founder, and with him like he did the recruitment of other developers who would bring that concept and they would program it
to get an MVP. That's your plan,
exactly.
Okay.
And in my case, I had like so many ideas, and I wanted like that the concept be more like high fidelity prototype. So like the design, I didn't want to mess on any kind of like aspect of it. I wanted to make it like as close as possible to the final result. And with the first recruitment, I was not really satisfied with the results, and there was some conflicts with like communication, and eventually like the first prototype, I was not satisfied with it, and then like the whole kind of like the whole team was out, and I started all over again with another team.
Oof, yeah.
And that took like one year long. So the whole thing about the communication, and like sometimes there were like too many delays and the quality was not good. And then I did not have any other
other option, right?
other
You have to
options.
look for other people.
Yeah. And then I had the chance to find like a freelancer developer who was very competent, and he really liked the idea, and I want to be part of this. And for the front end, we managed to finish all of it in kind of 1.5 months or 2 months.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah. And we were like working with another backend developer, but there was like with him still like some delays and everything. And then eventually he was not part of the team anymore.
Yeah.
And then like the front end developer took the place of the back end developer. But it was not his specialty. So
you have to repivot and reconsider, realign.
And yeah, he had to kind of, it was like the learning curve was a little bit like too steep, I would say, because it was not his field.
Yeah.
But but with him, I had like I had trust in him that he's the kind of guys who can make things
happen.
Exactly.
That get it done.
Yeah.
Attitude. Yeah.
And without neglecting any aspects of the quality as well.
Okay. Yeah. It's always a recurring problem, right? People will say in startups all the time that you have to find the correct team. That I always say for myself that, of course, it's like a given that you should be competent in the project. But it's also maybe it should be a given, but sometimes it's lacking the responsibility. But by extension, you mentioned a really interesting point, right? Like there are technical problems that can be solved, but the communication is sometimes more critical for the development, right, of these projects, and you're working together. So I also remember it was a similar experience on a business incubation problem, and this co-founder, it was like almost like a situation between that could be like with us two. I was given trust with a founder, and we made it happen. But then he had to leave, so then I took on the responsibility, and I had to hire developers, and they were these younger developers, unfortunately, that were less experienced. So then, as you mentioned, the learning curve was steep.
Yeah.
So, but this kind of also ties us into leadership, right? So, especially between our strategic management. Change management, of course. How do you think strategically for these projects now, in hindsight? And I relate this to if leadership comes natural to you. Do you remember we talked about the Myers-Briggs type indicator?
Yeah.
And you were the ENTJ, or basically a commander. So how do you relate to this?
Did we had already conversation about it, or it
was
just like
only
you assumed?
Only briefly, yeah.
Yeah, like ENTJ. I think it's maybe one of the reasons that I am the elder brother or the elder son, and I felt like in the family I was naturally the one trying to figure it out by myself.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really have like other support from outside, or like cousins that are close or anything like that. So I had to figure out always like a way how to manage.
Come on.
Yeah. And I feel like that came pretty much naturally that way. Yeah.
That makes complete sense. Yeah. For Siemens Energy, you're in product management, but how do you approach a technical problem, and does that differ from, let's say, more of a human problem? Because we mentioned that communication is so critical.
Yeah.
So what are your learnings specifically in this region now?
Like in product management, so my role is more like facilitating communication between like our departments and the other shareholders. And it's very important that the whole, let's say, organization have access to what's going on now, what the different departments are working on, if there is like progress with the projects, like what are the projects that we are currently working on, which one are finished, what is our budget, and yeah, that's important. So to have like an overview on what is our current state right now and what we want to achieve in the future.
And did you see that you had also some help or some advice in how the internal structure was in Siemens Energy, or there's also maybe an expectation like, hey, we already are going to give you responsibility, you can figure it out?
Yeah,
what is that
like
element of?
It was like it was quite trust-based.
Yeah.
So we communicate on what we visualize, what we want to, what we would like to work on,
and your certain level of like expectation, let's say.
Yeah. And then like there is always like this feedback. Okay, now I'm working on this, and then you ask, am I on the right way, in the right route, or do we have like other feedback that you want to add? And then then I get that input, and then like I try to find another way. And I feel it's, as I said, it's really trust-based. So I get like a project, and then whether then there is like results.
Would you say there were what are the differences, or what are the similarities between the work culture and you were in Kronos, and Siemens Energy, and also you did a sustainability work with Enactus? So these are different areas, right? You have some of the maybe nonprofits, some of the working student position, etc. How are these work cultures similarly and or differently?
Yeah, like in every organization is different, and like my role in every organization was as well different. So currently with Siemens, now I have like more insights on how the strategy, like how the decision making for strategy is like. What are the key things that we have to focus on to whether like continue with the project or like focus on another project. And let's say in Kronos, it was more, I am working on a project and I have to make that project like
a reality.
Exactly. But as I said, from in the Siemens, it was more like from like one step, like
one step before.
Yeah.
Okay. So I also want to relate this to, because we talk about your different work experiences in nonprofit, working student, and across different locations also. But more for you, what is your, let's say, personal KPI? So I'm referring to how you define the value you create and like the impact. So what comes to mind? What is your personal key performance indicator? Is it more, I'm efficient in this, I am creating value through an innovation, or is it more people focused?
I am feedback focused.
Okay.
So for wherever anything that I am working on, I always try to ask as many people as possible what do they think on it, and then have like get their feedback.
That's really important. Yeah. I remember I have a friend in Texas. I'll give him a shout out. His name is Costa, and he was telling me, and it's very important for me to keep this in mind, when he's been also working as a let's say a general manager of a place, and he also wants to take feedback considerations from everyone. He says even the people that are in maintenance, like let's say the janitor, and even the people that are naturally the executives, let's call them, like everyone in the hierarchy has an opinion to give, and that can give you a different perspective. So it's really important that you have this element for yourself, right?
Definitely,
yeah. So I want to also ask you now more on today, and like what kind of habits that we're doing in this age that is very fast changing. It's always evolving, especially with AI now. So what are some habits that you do, that you have, and also maybe some mindsets that make sure they keep you on the, I call it the bleeding edge, of innovation right now?
Okay. Well, I think like my strategy is kind of like a bit different. Like I would say I'm not like a really trendy person.
Okay.
I'm more like try to look at what is more universal and things that are more, let's say, they are like constant, no matter what is the time or like the place. And in my case, like for the app that I'm doing, it's not really like the most trendy thing. It's not like AI related. It's actually even like something against more AI in that social networking frame.
Yeah.
Because like currently there is this AI girlfriend, and I feel like that's kind of like a bit dystopian.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like it's somehow giving up or like losing hope on why people would like
we should always maintain
the connection and like and this is why like my focus is on how through the concept that I'm working on, how to facilitate that connection between two people and without the intervention of AI.
Yeah, and also I should have also mentioned this. Maybe you can also briefly give us and the audience a quick, let's say, summary of also what is your app, because I know we've talked briefly and a little on the human connection element, but what exactly is it, so people are aware?
Okay. So the app is basically trying to connect like two strangers or even friends on a deeper level. And the context for the conversation is your current mood, how you're currently feeling. And I feel that's like a more relevant subject to connect and bond on than more superficial things like favorite football or favorite TV show.
Favorite color.
Or favorite color, yeah. And I feel like that's what most apps are missing on, because there is mainly sometimes miscommunication, not knowing what is usually like the mood and the emotional state of the person that you're texting. And then like you just send a message trying to hopefully synchronize with that emotional state of the other person. Sometimes there is a mismatch. And that mismatch is because that information is missing. So that's the core problem. And another aspect that is important in the app is the safe space. It is a safe space where people can speak freely without like having to think so much on what is the consequences in everyday life, because it's the there is one part that is audio driven and it's anonymous, where you only see the age of the person, how far they are in kilometers, what is their gender, and what is the two current moods of the other person you're talking to. But because like moods are like a spectrum and something abstract,
that's
they're
really
like
creative,
portrayed in colors. And that encourages other people to ask, how are you doing? And because you after entering the app, you select your current mood.
Yeah.
There is this part of like you reflect. There is the reflection. You know what is your current mood.
Yeah.
You can put your current mood into words.
Yeah.
And that way you can.
Or the voice also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when like the other person asks how are you doing, you can express yourself much in more like nuanced way.
Yeah.
And what is usually more common is you ask how are you doing, and the other person says I'm fine, and you say I'm fine because the other person said I'm fine, and then you're both fine, and you didn't. And from that question, like nothing came out. There is nothing resourceful that came out. And sometimes because you both are feeling okay, sometimes why are we having the conversation?
Yeah.
Like what is the reason we're having that?
Sure.
So what I'm trying to encourage is having more like vocabulary,
Yeah.
and to reflect.
An honest vocabulary.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's very well summarized.
Yeah.
I really want to look into it more now. You've kind of maybe like reinvigorated my interest because I still remember the pitch, and now you're
Yeah.
talking about it again.
Yeah.
I want to leave you with one last question. Let's go more on. Let's say you venture out in 5 years. Where do you see yourself, and what city, what you're working on, and with what kind of people?
Okay. So a hard question.
A little bit.
Because currently I'm 27. I will finish my master's soon.
Yep.
And like I have some open projects still. And based on what is the results of these projects,
Yeah.
I can figure out, okay, what is the next
Yeah,
steps.
it's like different routes. Yeah.
Yeah. So like what I would say I'm more like in the ongoing constructing phase. And then after that phase, then there is, okay, the next steps. And currently I it's hard for me to really say what is going next for me. It can be anything.
Yeah. It's good to keep everything open.
Yeah.
But maybe the path will become more clear, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Wael. This has been really, really insightful. I can say that from Tunisia to now to Germany and working in different sectors, it's been really interesting to hear from your side.
Yeah. Thank you, Rodrigo, for having me. It was really fun. And yeah, we keep in touch.
Yeah. Until next time.
Until next time.
And say, stay curious, stay driven, and get started.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.